Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Hi, YouTube. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing fantastic. Swim in. Come in here. Come in here and hang out for a little bit so we can get going on. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for the like. That's spectacular. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Hey, Jill, what's going on? How you doing? Hi, everybody. Come in. Good evening. Hi. Let's do tarot. Y'all got questions? We've got some crazy stuff going on around here. You know, I'm in the Northeast. It's been a wild couple of days. Hi, Tara. How are you? Thank you for the like. Look, I got my cards right away. Won't even start playing with any pendulum. I'm just going to go straight to my hammer. I call my cards my hammer. That's like, I guess it's a John Henry reference. Where I can work hard at my hammer. It's my cards. Let's do some questions. I know, it's super cold. It's 59 degrees up here. We took all of your warmth. I'm sorry. I had to snatch some for myself. I need to bring some Texas with me. I brought some warmth. Man, it was 50. We were just outside with no jackets on. Y'all couldn't be today, huh? It's cold. So I'm going to do a couple of spreads. I've been working on the Celtic Cross this week, which has been really fun. I did it on myself, and there was like one person. There were two people that came up in my Celtic Cross. I got a card that means you're being too defensive, which is the Princess of Swords. And I got the Knight of Cups inverted. That means my rosy colored glasses have been scratched. That makes me sad to get that inverted. It's like one of the best cards. But when it's inverted, it's just talking about some offense that you've taken too hard and I need to get past. And so that's what I pulled. What are you going to pull? Let's see. Ooh, let's hope this one's for us. So this one, the which one is that? Prince of Swords. This is a big money card. It's actually about getting your team together. See how the little dudes look just like the big dude? That's about making sure that the team that you have is all on the same page. And when it looks like this, which is how we actually pulled it, we actually saw it first, that is about trimming the fat. That's about cutting down on superfluous friends. Superfluous. Somebody look up superfluous. Superfluous friends have got to go. Drop that dead weight. And I think that's probably important because of the season we're about to go into. You know, the high holidays, when you're not pretending to like your family, you need to be around people you really love. And so I think that's really about solidifying your team. Who have you been in contact with during COVID? Who did you make sure that you got in contact with and maintain the relationship? Those people are important to you. And then, you know, be real honest with yourself. Is that a good return on your investment? So that kind of thing. So that's what the Knight of Swords is all about. Oh, thank you. Do you know, I would stand up and show you. I didn't feel like my belly is that big. It's actually a dress I turned into a shirt. You want to see? Well, never mind. I have on silly pants. I forgot. I'll show you later. But it's a dress that has these two long panels. So on the front, I put a knot, and in the back, I put a knot. It's kind of cool. It's kind of Thunderdome-ish. It's real cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. So questions. What questions do you have, guys? What do you guys have? What questions? Maybe we can think about what do we want to, there's a pagan holiday that's fixing to happen that's all about what do we want to put into the earth right now through the winter because we want it to be back in our lives in the spring. So let's kind of think about 6 months from now, which would be March, Pisces season. So in 6 months, what should still be in your life? Let's ask questions about that. What do we need to do so that when the second quarter of next year happens, March, right? It's almost the second quarter. What do we want to have done? What would make us happy? That, and also it's a really good time to start thinking about New Year's Eve. When you ding that bell and you're ringing out 2020 and you're ringing in 2021, do you want to do it with what? With a new relationship? Do you want to do it with 20 less pounds? What would make you cry tears of joy on New Year's? That's what I want to ask questions about. If you can figure out what would make you cry tears of joy, I want to talk about that. I want to get into how to make that happen. Get those affirmations together. Having your backyard done, fantastic. Can you do that in the winter? If you're in Texas, you probably can. Up here, do you know up here, I went to a funeral up here in February, and when there's funerals in the winter up here, they have to like store the people until the ground is thawed enough to dig the graves. It's horrible. I happened upon that information in a really weird way, and I wish I didn't know that, but now you know. So you can share that gruesomeness with me. So yeah, they like stack them up somewhere, and then when the ground thaws, they like dig the actual graves, and then they bury the people. So there's this like waiting period. Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. I mean, I guess that's the only way they could do it. Oh gosh, I think that sounds gross. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like such an archaic reason. Like, couldn't they pre-dig the holes the winter before? All right, Tara, let's get into this. Because I'm having strange conversations. Thank you for saving me by asking for some cards. Come on, Tara, what do we got? Let's see. You know what, Tara? I think the way I want to go into it is from a perspective of what is the easiest thing for you to deal with. So, Tara, I'm going to take you along my journey with me. I'm going to, like when a chef prepares something they think that you'd like, I'm going to ask for you what kind of situations are easiest for Tara to handle. Now that way, if we identify this, that means that those should be the things that you can knock right off your plate, right? So let's see what kind of stuff you deal with easily. Let's see if this is accurate. I'm going to do active and passive, okay? So, let's ground first. Ooh, I'm so excited. Thank you, guys. You have fantastic energy. I was in a really shitty mood, but y'all fixed it already. Okay, so 3 deep breaths to ground. So first deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth is going to be to release your day so far. The second one is going to be to ground, become really heavy. And then the third one is going to be to connect with me. And I'll walk you through them. So the first one, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Empty your whole day so far. Shake it off. Next one, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth to ground. Try to become really heavy and just inhabit your body. Good. One more. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth to connect with me. Shaking out all gunk from the day. And I take my non-dominant hand. I'm going to run it right over the deck, and I'm going to pull 2 cards for Tara. The first one's going to be an active one. And we're going to ask, what does Tara solve easily? What's the easiest kind of problem for her to fix, right? Does that sentence make sense? Here's active for you, Tara, and then we're going to pull passive. Passive. All right, they're both inverted. So actively, what Tara deals with best is disempowerment. So it's the strength card, but it's inverted. And so when it's inverted like that, it means like a muting of power and on purpose withholding of power. And that's the kind of situation that this says actively that you deal with best, Tara. You have to tell me if you agree or not. Does that make sense? Does that fit your personality? And while you're telling us that, we'll see what you have passively. And passively, interesting. Passively, you have the pleasure card inverted. So that means a lack. Passively is a lack of sexual pleasure. Sorry, there's no other way. I was trying to find other words when it doesn't make any sense any other way. But that's what the pleasure card is like. all kinds of sexual pleasure, but inverted would be the lack of that. And so passively, you're able, it seems like you're like kind of like a camel. You can go like a really long time and categorize things very well, and how you deal with issues of a lack of sexual pleasure, you do that easily. Does that make sense? So this is easy, and also disempowerment is easy. So if we have problems with these two things, we're going to Tara. Does that work? So we were right about disempowerment. I think she's going to answer us about pleasure, and we'll see. That's pretty interesting. While you're doing that, Jill, if you want the same one, let me know. Whoever else is in the room, and I'll do. While we're waiting, I'll do mine. I want to know what mine are. I think it's an interesting question. First of all, when I just went to, yes, that's fantastic. When I just went to shuffle, it didn't even shuffle. My cards were like, we're not talking to you. Okay, Jill, let's try Jill. Let's try Jill. Okay, so Jill, let's do the same thing. We'll pull it out and we'll see what is easiest for Jill to deal with. Okay, let's pull. I'm pulling for your active one, Jill. Jill, oh, it's fighting me. Ah, okay, and then passive. Oh my goodness, and then one jumped out. So Jill, you have two passive because it just would not be part of your reading. Okay, so actively is the Prince of Justice. You know, this is one of my favorite cards. It reminds me of my little boy, my oldest. And the reason, well, that doesn't matter. What this is saying that you deal with well is creating brand new. If you notice that he's holding a globe, it's about creating brand new worlds. So you're really good at actually initiating like a brand new thing that never existed before. It's difficult to explain, like whatever people did before roller coasters, and then roller coasters happened, and now the world only knows roller coasters. It's like that, like something brand new into the world that changes like the direction of things. That's what you're really good with. So if there's a problem in that area, you're who we come with. That's what you do really easily. Actively. Passively, the two cards that came out, and they wouldn't not be here, is fortune. So turns of fortune, negative turns of fortune, you deal with passively very well. And you're a really good apprentice. Like that's the best thing that you can be. If there's ever a situation, if there's ever a time when you're like confused and not sure what to do with yourself, go apprentice, because that's where you like shine. For some reason, being right under the wing of someone or right under the spotlight, you learn so much. You can see like everything that's going on. It's really a natural talent of yours. Does that make sense? Tell me if you're active and passive, what you're good at made sense to you. Tara, we did good with. And we'll see how yours is. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. How great. So that's a good one. We'll have to try that. Maybe we'll do that on Tuesdays. Since Tuesday is the most productive day of the week, maybe that's the question that we'll ask. All right. Let's see. Ready for mine? Maybe it's boring to watch me do mine. Let's ask you guys some more questions. Most of the time, because when I'm doing mine, I'm laughing at how like funny it is and right on, and you know. So that's about what we handle well. Do we want to also ask what we handle worse? What's our worst enemy? Do we care? Do we just want to take the ones we handle easiest and then just go and take those off our plate this week? Maybe that's enough. I don't know. I don't want to be disempowering by saying, well, this is the hardest thing, because, you know, that feels like not what's supposed to happen. So how about I pull a card for us for the collective? I like that. Let's see. Let's see what we need to be. What do we need to do by November? So that gives us 3 days, 3 or 4 days. What do we need to do by November, by Sunday? All right, let's see. Ooh, what energy is best for us between now and November? I got a little queasy in the stomach, so we've all got a little bit of nervousness. I think we're anxious because, I mean, the world's insane. If you're not anxious, you're probably not like awake. Ooh, look at what we got. Now, that would make sense for my stomach to be upset, because this is the sorrow card and it's inverted. So we have to stop being so enchanted with the confusion. We're enchanted, distracted by all the confusion. See all the dark black, the clouds. The blackness isn't bad at all. It's the clouds, actually. It's actually the gray part that concerns you. Because in all of this gray and confusion in the clouds part, look at how much blue is for clarity. Look how much clarity is on this card. It's like one shard, and there's a tiny bit over here. But there's so many clouds, how can you even see that part? And so this is talking about how, especially women, but in our society, we're kind of taught to baptize our tears and kind of go into how terrible something is and lament about it and be there and like continue to breathe life into the negative side of things. I think we're being called in this, and remember, my stomach had a reaction too. And I believe that is, I mean, that's where fear is. So we're being called to make a choice. If we're stuck in a three-sided relationship, this is a three-sided relationship, is this card. And if we're stuck between two, that means we're stuck between two things that seem of equal value. And if we're stuck and stay there in limbo, clarity can't happen. So we have to like either pick a way. And maybe we don't want to pick it for the whole time because that's scary. So let's just pick it for November. Pick one way. For November, this is the choice you're going to make. See if that works for you. And then if it doesn't, for December, we'll do the other one. But we have to be very decisive right now. We're busy pussyfooting around, trying to make sure everybody's going to be okay, trying to fix it for people, not really using our voice, scared to actually make the move. I mean, it's the state of the world suggests that we should try whatever it is that we want to try. I think that's the most positive way I can say that. It seems like it seems like this is the best time to try it. So let's try some stuff, right? Go after it. Produce your book, or put on your wedding. Do whatever the thing is that you want to do. I want to see what other cards we can pull. Sorrow depressed me. Let's see what else we have. I want another card for us. So we've got sorrow. Okay, we'll work on it. What else? Let's try to let me try to pull better. Y'all focus real hard. Let's try to pull a better card. What's the highest example of this moment? What's the highest vibration we can get out of this moment? That'll give us a good card. What's the highest vibration we can pull out of this moment? Focus on your third eye. Touch it if you want to. Focus on your third eye. Touch it if you want to. We're going to pull a good card for us. I can feel it. Please don't make me a liar. So the three of discs. Now, relatively, the three of discs is better than the three of swords. The three of swords is sorrow. The three of discs is works. So this isn't a time where we're going to be given whatever it is. Whatever we're going to get out of this day and this life right now, we have to work for it. And I really like that my deck doesn't just say, all right, it's just going to fall into your lap. I've never done a spread where, yes, Jenna, I am. I've never done a spread where, and hi, I've never done a spread where the deck said, all right, well, just sit there and everything will be fine. You always have to get up and like move into purpose. You got to move into it. Hey, Jenna, you want to ask a question? We were just talking about, oh, I didn't say what it was. Three discs. This is task. So there's all that. Remember we talked about the cloudy confusion that was in the sorrow card. It's here too, but it's got some green in there, some creativity there for us. And here's our passion. Our passion showed up. And it is in these circles on the points of the pyramid. So two very special shapes, sacred shapes, are circles, right? And pyramids. And we've got both of these in here. All we have to do, all this is telling us to do, is organize our hand, make the list of the things that we have to do, and then start chomping away at it. The reason that we have so much ammo to beat ourselves up with is because we're just sitting here watching the shit go on. We have to use my phrase, acceptance is requestance. If you're accepting it, you're asking for more of it. So as long as we're, accepting bullshit, we're going to keep getting it. We got to request more. We got to change it. We got to change what we're asking for. Okay. So Jenna asked, what will happen with her Libra? Caleb. That's a really, in your Virgo. Thank you. I don't know female Virgos very well. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Let me pull. What will happen with him? I wonder if a card will tell us. I'm going to pull two. I'm going to pull active and passive for you. So for Caleb, let's see. There's active, and then let me pull passive. Passive. Oh. Well, I don't think that it's going to be a very long relationship. Yeah. That makes sense. This is a card of outgrowth. So you've actually outgrown. It doesn't feel like you've outgrown him. You've outgrown the situation that drew you all together. It feels like a relationship of convenience or something. Anyway, it's not convenient anymore. And so that's strife is when you've outgrown a situation, like you've actually ascended above it. And so that's what you got passively. So right now it doesn't seem like the timing's great, but actively, look at that. Isn't that great? Actively, the hermit is out finding his own inner light. So this is the opposite, like, of relationship. This is about your relationship with yourself, finding your own inner light. And so the reason why y'all have outgrown each other is because there's some internal stuff that is up to be dealt with. And that's where it comes up, is in relationships. That's all relationships are ways for us to work on our internal stuff. So y'all's job right now is really to get your internal stuff together. You want you to notice the hellhounds that are on the hermit card. I think that's about depression. And so you have to make sure that as you're going through and what's the unearthing things that need to be dealt with, and as you get deeper into the layer of the onions of yourself, that you allow grace, because these things have been here for a long time. They've calcified. you know the difference between brushing your teeth and getting tartar removed off your teeth. Like, have you ever like somebody like straddling you and in your mouth chipping away at tartar? That's what we're dealing with. So you guys both have some tartar kind of buildup that is being dealt with right now, and that's and that's kind of where you are. It's intense because it's harder to get off, but it's still just food. It's a funny thing. Plaque and tartar are the same thing. One's older. Isn't that disgusting? But it's the truth. If you guys, once you get back together, if you start hanging out again, y'all should come get a couples reading. That would be fun. Calcified. Yeah, that's a really good way to kind of explain it. I don't know. Right now, I think I can tell you what's happening right now with you, and that's that you should be apart. You want me to ask if you'll get back together? I can ask my pendulum. Just ask. So right now, what's going on with you guys is individuality, separation. Will you guys get back together? It says yes before I'm finished. Will these two get back together? It's just a really big, solid circle. Do you see that? It kind of got that size and stayed that size. It's nice and balanced. It's not wobbly or shaking. You guys have a really good relationship. It's not really soon though, but when you do, the timing is right. This is not something that I would rush. It's not something I wouldn't rush it. I wouldn't be in his face and stuff. Men process stuff differently than us. And sometimes when we think we're being gentle, it feels too, it's too much for them. Do you know what I mean? And so if I were you, I would busy yourself other ways and, just little Bo Peep him. Oh, yes, very cool. Any other questions? So we dug into Jenna. We've got her in the right path, on the right way. What else? What other cards do you guys want to pull? You have yes, no questions? You want to hear about any certain situation with you? We were talking about what do we need to do for October, right? Before November. We've got like 4 days left of this month. Are you guys doing Halloween? I hope so. Are y'all doing stuff for Halloween? We're watching The Simpsons Treehouse of Terror. All of them. Like all 30 of them. Let's see. Who else? Yes. Hi, Philip. Yes, I promise. Yes, I'll pull you a card. I certainly will. I'm gonna spread them out. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna pull you active and passive, Philip. All right. So let's see what I got. Philip feels really energetic. Feel fiery coming from Philip. I think it's gonna be fiery. Here's Philip active, and I'm gonna pull you a passive. Fighting me. Passive. And it's fun. Oh, look. So it's not a spectacular week as far as relationships are concerned. Some people are showing some pretty unattractive sides of themselves in some of your closer relationships. I think you're going to find. And so just be prepared to kind of be compassionate, and also just consider whether or not relationships are an asset. If they're not an asset, you don't have to put up with a whole bunch of bullshit. But if something's happening where somebody's offending you, make sure you are really, really clear and you say with love what the problem is, because it feels like, this season is really, really hard. It's really, really hard on people, and it's hard on relationships, and COVID has not helped that. And so I think that you're going to find that you have some relationships being pulled on the carpet. And it's up to you whether you care or not. Like, do you want to save them? Do. If you don't, this is your opportunity to not have them anymore. And then passively, you got the completion card. Now this one not only did it fight me, but after I put it down, it spun. But the cool thing about the completion card is it's a wheel. So it looks pretty much the same, whether it's upside down or upside right. And you notice that Aries situation here. And I think that's Mars. No, that's Venus. Passively, completion. So the reason I think that right now these situations are going to be presenting themselves where these relationships come into question is because there's some things you need to complete. There's some relationships you left a long time ago, but you're still there. Does that make sense? And so this is when we needed to actually tell the person, like, you know what? I actually haven't fucked with you for a very long time. I think we need to move on, or put some kind of a period where you have commas and kind of dragging along these relationships that don't really serve you. And so I think this is a good opportunity for that. And that's all that it is. It's just a cleansing. So you can see it that way. If you can get kind of clinical about it, then I think that you'll experience it a little bit better. Missy. Yes. Do you have a question, Missy, that you need specifically, or you want just a card? Let me know. I'll pull it for you, however you want me to do it. I hope that made sense for you, Philip. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you've already started to see some fabric being pulled on some relationships. I know whenever one of mine is funky, they're all funky. It's never one at a time, but there's usually at least one that, that I can, one I can turn to. Yeah. All right. You've been in a relationship for about 2.5 years, and it's currently some trying times, I bet. You want to know if you're going to make it through this hard time. Woo! Don't we all? COVID is so bad on relationships, man. I don't know how anybody's staying together. Okay. Will you make it through this hard time? You will. You will, and it's a little bit. Do you notice the oval? Oh, it went from yes to an oval, and I think it's going to be a no now. So you do make it through this one, but it's it isn't a very long hold. So you do make it through this one, and I think you actually get to choose when you stop having the relationship. God, I hope you're not with a Virgo. I don't know what he is. Sorry. You'll get to choose when you want to end it, but this is like the pattern. You're right. You're picking who moved your cheese is exactly what's happening. There is foundational stuff that is kind of being affected at this point in the relationship. And if you two don't spend some time reinforcing your boundaries and making sure that you each respect your boundaries, you'll be sick of each other anyway. Like the kind of fights that you're having now are a little bit too nasty, and the kind of things that you're pointing out to each other, you're not even hearing each other anymore. It's just real acidic. And so if until you can get back to a place where you respect each other enough to want to make it through the argument, and peace becomes more important than who's right, it's going to be a little bit cantankerous. So you do make it through this tough time. You do. But it takes its toll. And it probably is the beginning of the end. Sorry. I don't want to bullshit you. You know what I mean? But that's what I see. But like I said, I think that it doesn't sound like it doesn't feel like it's a death knell. It feels like boundary issues. You guys have got to get back to where boundaries matter, you know? And so hopefully that makes sense for you. I'm happy to do a reading for you guys. We can dig deep into whatever the actual stuff is, so maybe we can heal it. And if it's either healed here or it's healed in your next one, because if not, you're going to pull somebody who acts just like them. I am telling you, you will pull the exact same person in different skin. I've done it. I've done it. It's crazy how much it's the same person. There's so many of them, and it's vibrational. So what you don't heal, you will pull that same shit. You will pull the same thing. It's crazy. Okay. Who's next? Do we have any other questions? Good question, Tara. Let's see. Should you stay in a relationship with your boyfriend? Let's see. Woo! Lots of energy. Should Tara stay in a relationship with her boyfriend? Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's not a weird, oh wait. No. It's yes. It's yes for now. It looks like around January, something weird's gonna happen in the relationship, but for now, yes. I think ask me again in January. I couldn't see what it was. It just seemed weird. This circle went to an oval, which usually means kind of conditional. So for right now, yes. And then after the high holidays, we'll look right back at it. It's good to have somebody to cuddle through the holidays with. And maybe beyond that, maybe it's fine. Maybe, I don't know what it would be. But good luck. Who else? Anybody else have any questions? I'm so glad you guys are hanging out with me. I didn't even go and promote. You guys just came. That's so cool. I'm gonna actually go and put it on Facebook and then wait a couple of minutes and see if anybody cares. I should have done this a long time ago, but I was talking to Jill. I got so excited. You know what's funny? I'll share with you guys. Since I've been in the Northeast, I didn't realize how crunchy I got when I got down to. Well, I've been living in Texas this whole time. I'm real crunchy. I'm very new agey, and I don't know. I'm not the same. I'm not a city person anymore, and I'm not material at all anymore. And how scared people are of tarot here is crazy to me. I'm not used to people being scared of it anymore. You know, I was down in Austin and everybody's real loose, and you know, I mean, that's where Matthew McConaughey's from. You know what I mean? That's the kind of people that are there. He's representative of the whole city and all the surrounding areas. So it's interesting coming from a place that was so liberal and open and real cool with this kind of stuff, and to people who are kind of what is it now? Is the devil in the same room with us? And I'm like, no, there's no devil coming in here. So I don't know. It's interesting because it's yes, it's so weird. It's interesting because I get to. It's this new opportunity to kind of present what it is and explain what it is and say this is what it is. This is where it is. You don't have to worry about demons tonight. You know? So yeah, it's a new way to grow. Yeah, it's interesting, and And I guess it's interesting because when you're talking about faith and what people believe in, man, that's really, really personal. They get very like they mean it. When they're saying they're not going to mess with me, they mean it. You know, they're like, no. I mean, they're like mortally, no. Does that? I'll be able to verbalize it the longer I'm here. I'll be able to kind of pinpoint and find out what exactly, like what part of that vibration, where that is, and where it hits me, because it's interesting. I've been enjoying the contrast. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So let's do some pendulum. Let's see if there's more questions. Oh, that's what I like to do, is ask if there's more questions. Are there more questions? So this is a backwards yes. So it's yes, but there's secret. So that means you guys should be PMing me for your own tarot reading, right? Is that what you need to say, Mr. Pendulum? Let's see who's going to answer me. Are there more questions in here right now? Oh, I think it's good. Oh, I think we're done. Okay, so let's close. Hey, will you meet anyone special before the end of the year? Good question, Jill. I love that. Oh, and I want to ask if I've met the next yet. So for Jill, will you meet anybody before the end of the year? Let's see. Yes. Ooh. It's like the last 2 weeks of December. Look at that. Look how big it is. You're going to know immediately. It's no question. No question about who he is. Or they. No judgment. No question. You'll know right away. Yay! I don't know if it's love at first sight, but it's attraction at first sight. Like you're like, I'm finna go home with them. And they say the same thing about you. It's immediate. That's great. You have to take a picture. Try to take a sneak picture for me. Like, you know what I mean? Slide your camera over and you're going to send me some picture of some really odd angle. I want to be able to see the shadow of their hair. You're like, this is it. Look, I got it. Oh, I wanted to ask, because the timing I've been getting is like by next May, I'm done for. It'll be over by next May. So let me ask, is the next one, do I know the next one yet? Wait, this says yes. Do I know the next one yet? Oh, all right. Well, I better start looking and checking my surroundings. I'll keep you all updated. You keep me updated, I'll keep you updated. I guess so. There's a couple I could see, but nobody feels extremely strong. I wonder if it's going to be some dark horse from the back. You know what I mean? That I don't quite recognize yet. Maybe they'll make a strong play. You have a great night too. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You really lighten my mood. This is my dharma. I glow when I do it. I want to help you find whatever you glow when you do, because that's what we're all here for. That's what feels better than all the news and all the politics in the world, is being in your groove, man. Find your groove. If you guys want your own reading, please contact me. You know, you can find me at HaiTarot, HAITAROT.com, and it's HaiTarot on all the social medias. Peace and love to every single one of you. Be brave and have a good night and sleep. Bye.